Good morning. Welcome to Options Tender. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. January 26, 2024. Thanks for joining us. If you're new here, go down to that bottom right-hand corner, hit that Options Tender logo, and subscribe. We're going to go through SPY on multiple time frames, going from the monthly down to the 65. And then we're going to visit the Qs, IWM, briefly DIA, and the VIX. Now, as a bonus, I want to go over SQ, that's Square Payments. It's a payment. We're in PayPal as well, but we're just going to go through Square. We're using it as a hedge to the upside. And we think this one is ready to break out. So make sure you stick around and don't forget to hit the notification button so you can get these videos often. Now, thank you for the likes, by the way. Now, you see these consolidation areas. We broke out of this channel. This is a breakout. There's nothing besides all the indicators, all the negative divergences. There's nothing that says this is bearish. I said that before. I said that in this candle here. So what we're actually looking for, in particular, for the end of this month, is a possible reversal candle. So we have next week with FOMC. If we do get some sort of down move, that's going to create probably some sort of doji here. So keep an eye on that. Next week is going to be very important. Today, we're not getting much action. We're negative on tech. I do think tech is had their top per the video on Wednesday, I believe. So I'll post that video. I'll put that at the end so you can look at that. I do believe we have a market top in tech, and I think we're going to diverge, have a negative divergence in tech, while SPY ekes out a little bit more, a couple more points. And IWM, I think, is going to be the culprit to hold the market up. Okay, let's move on so we can see this visually. So visually, we don't have anything bearish. We're going to keep our eye open for that. Let's go down to the weekly time frame. And this is just going to reiterate what we're looking at. So you have this consolidation area. I think by next week, and moving on into the new month, we're going to be looking at our next candle. I think we might have a candle that actually goes up just a little bit further and into FOMC, and then may form some sort of doji, cloud cover, maybe engulfing, something of that sort. That's what we're looking for. But in the future, couple weeks maybe, we're looking for this 472 breakout area to be our test. See if price can come down here. Should come down here pretty quickly. And by quickly, I do mean maybe a couple weeks after FOMC. It may come straight down. It might, but this is our first test. Now we break into this consolidation, back into this consolidation area, and I think we're quickly going to move down to the 454. So those are our two areas that we're going to keep our eye out in this near future. Past that, just in general, I think this is going to be kind of the key to whether we're going to hold and maybe we're in a new bull market. We'll take a look at the retracements, but if we're in a new bull market, we're talking about a 1-2, 1-2 sort of setup here. All right. And we should hold some of these highs and then continue to move on, where this would be another 1-2, and then we just start, this should be our beginning of our wave 3 massive move for years. Okay, if this is a new bull market. I'm not looking at it this way. I think we're going to break down. I think we're going to break down pretty heavy, but we need the evidence. So let's move down to the daily time frame. Daily trend is our friend. So this is the type of visual I'm looking at right now. All right, we have these points we're pushing to the top of these points right now. I think we might have a little bit of room. This is not exact, but this will give a visual of what I think is happening. Even if price goes just a little bit higher, looking at the test way down low. And it's a rising pivot. So, you know, it could be the 438 by the time we get down there. It could be 440. Whatever the case is, we're looking to test these areas down low. This should be an impulse wave. Probably have a reaction off of this, bounce up for a possible wave 2, and continue lower. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have to have a reversal. So that's the main point of this video, is we're looking for a reversal. This is our zone. Again, that 472 zone that we're looking for. I'll give you a visual on that. Excuse me. And we're looking for, let's go down to the 65 minute. This is what's going to be really important, because we're looking for a reversal. And so you see this pivot I drew here. You actually have a little bit of room right up to that 490, and since it's a rising pivot, it could be, you know, 491 or so. But we have just a little bit of room to move here on the on SPY, and so that's really what we're looking for. Move out a little bit and go to the Elliott wave. I know we're moving quick, and this one, we're going to draw this like this. So we think we had our wave 4 pullback. And on SPY, this is different on the Qs. But on SPY, I think we have our 1, 2. And then this 3. And we had our triangle wave 4 just now. We're starting to break above it. So on a really small time frame, I think this is our initial wave 1. We might hold here on Friday near the options expected move, where it's stalling right now. Or pull back just a little bit more, maybe to back test the triangle, and then have the rest of our move into this zone. This is our measured move for the triangle. So our measured move for the triangle around that 490, 491 area. Okay. And how do you do that measured move? You take the longest point of the triangle, that's the distance, and then you measure from the breakout point. So you can go on the lower time frames, like the 15 minute or 5 minute or so. Measure the longest part of the triangle and the breakout point. And that measures us to about 490, 491 as our measured move. Okay, easy peasy. That's what it is. So let's go over to the Qs. Now, we talked about the Qs a couple days ago. Here's a look from the daily time frame. We had our wedge, very large wedge. Got to the end of the wedge. We have a throw over. Now, we're still considering this pivot. The top of the wedge important. You see, we reacted off it, and we're actually holding it right now. So we have a wedge. We still have a wedge, the smaller wedge within the wedge. So we came to the top of there. We peaked. I think that might be our top. It's probable that that's our top. And as soon as we break back in, that's a fake break to the larger wedge and break down from the smaller wedge. See ya. That's what we're looking at with the Qs. Let's go down to the 65, see if we can learn a little bit more. Okay, you see that the top of our wedge here, I have it drawn just a little bit different. We haven't actually reached the top of that. At this point, could it happen? Yes, absolutely. Now, remember from Wednesday, if you watched it, you can go back and watch it. We're counting this one more as a triangle. Now, the reason why we did that is because the way we counted this is wave 3, which is smaller than wave 1. So we can't have wave 5 being the longer than wave 3. That would make wave 3 the shortest. Okay, and that's not possible in Elliott wave rules. All right, so going to the Elliott wave picture, we have our triangle drawn out here. just a quick revision, and we see the counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 would be up here, and that came into our time and price. That's why that video is so important. If you want a little bit more in depth, go check it out. Again, I'll post that above. And what's really important now that this has developed is we have a possible leading diagonal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move, which they're crisscrossing, and that's in most cases that's a corrective move if you're having overlaps of waves. But when you're starting off the beginning or the end of a series, a lot of times you don't have momentum on your sides. So this would be a 5-wave impulse or motive wave to give us our initial wave 1. So that means that tech can still pull back just a little bit more, just can't cross above, but it'd be typical to get back to your 50-60% retracement. Even the 78.6 would be pretty typical. So maybe we retest these highs here, but so we have room in tech still to eke up just a little bit higher and then continue much lower, much faster. Okay, that's what we wanted to cover there. Just quickly, the DIA, just to give you a visual. We'll start off with the daily time frame. Don't want to spend a whole lot of time on here. We have a wedge that we're forming here and rejecting off of the top there. So that's it. I just want to show you that in a lower time frame just to be consistent. We get closer. We have a peak here. It's a 3-wave move up, so this could be all part of an ending diagonal. But if we need one more wave, maybe we pull back a little bit and just go just a tiny bit higher for a 5-wave finish. I mean, this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be done here. Could go just a little bit higher. Not nearly as important. We just keep an eye to see what the other market's doing, because if this starts to break the wedge, we have a whole nother story going on here. So we'll keep an eye on that. IWM is going to be a big one here. This is kind of the main reason for the video. So very important. Stick around just for a little bit longer. We have this pivot, this descending pivot here that we held. And now I can consider this a trend line. We have 3 points touched. We're reacting off of it. But notice this large channel. The channel that we had a fake break back into. We're testing. Didn't quite get to that channel. I think we move up there. And I think we might pop above just a little bit to this around the 201 area. And that's that former peak here. These are zones. Especially when you have such a volatile indice. So I can draw that as a zone just like that as well. So I just doubled the channel for the top there, and notice it coincides right there with the 201. And let me bring us down to a lower time frame so we can actually, sorry, I had to let the cat out. Let the cat out the bag. All right, so we have this consolidation zone. I'm drawing it more as a flag type pattern, and that's important because it fits all of our scenarios to where we had a breakout from the bullish falling wedge, consolidating, and one more move possibly to that 201 area. Now, what makes that significant? We have a measured move from this flag, and we also have a retracement here. So let's take a look. And this is what I think after this consolidation breakout, this move, I think this holds the market, maybe pulls the market up just a little bit while we're heading into the FOMC. And then we can make our decision. A lot of things happen like that when you're making market tops. This allows a lot of those beaten up stocks like Square, like PayPal, there's so many, and even some of the meme stocks to rip to the upside while the market seems to be doing nothing. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think that IWM has a potential move. This is the retracement from the top to the bottom here. So I think this is an impulse move to the downside, a 1. We're retracing for wave 2. We already came to the 618. That's always a great spot. That's a golden zone. But as we consolidate it, I do think that we have one more move to the 786 that I have highlighted here. Now this 100% move here that I'm highlighting now is the bottom of the flag to the top measurement to the breakout zone. Just like we talked about earlier with the triangle, this flag breakout, same way, 100% move right into that 201.66 area. These are highlighted here at the 200 because I do think we're going to get a stall there. I'm not going to go too far in depth of why, but you have this initial move, a 1-2, and then the measured wave 3 is typically at that 162% extension, and that coincides right at that 200 mark. So we're going to get a little bit of a stall there, possibly into Monday. Stall here, consolidate into get the turnaround Tuesday, start consolidating, and then for Wednesday in the FOMC, I think price action will continue to rise into the 786, where we'll have our reversal. That's what I'm looking at. That's what's super important. Let's go over to the VIX, and then we'll check out Square in the video. Okay, starting off on the daily time frame, the VIX is really just in a box, in a zone here. So as soon as we start breaking out, we're starting to make some market structure here. We're starting to make higher highs and higher lows. So we'll look at this as a box at this point. Just a, oops, wrong tool. Let's go to this rectangle tool. We'll just consider that like a volatile box there, and we start breaking out from this box, and real tight pattern. It's actually expanding, which says to me, hey, structure is continuing to expand, and pretty soon it's actually going to rip. So we'll be watching that. We're looking out for the channel. This channel is going to be very important. We'll probably get up to the channel, probably have a reaction off of it, and then continue. So look at the zones. Once we break 15, this 1550, we'll look to the next zone, about the 19, that will coincide with this channel. Maybe possibly get some sort of reaction. All the way back down to 15, I don't know. But I think we'll hold this box area, this box zone, break out from it, some sort of back test. It may be shallow, it may be deep, not sure yet, and then break out from there. So we'll continue. I'll draw a couple lines. So, you know, all these videos, they go together like a story. So I want you to hit that notification, make sure that you're getting all the pieces of the puzzle as we go on. I see something like this. I think this is going to be some sort of double bottom. We have maybe an awkward inverse head and shoulders happening here, but this is somewhat of what I think is going to happen. It might be a little bit sharper than that, actually. But get a reaction off it, pull back, not to these exact, but it could go from zone to zone. That's possible. And you get the breakout and see, it could go literally all the way to the zones up here. But we're going to have a big reaction, not straight up, but in between, we're going to have a big reaction off of that. We'll see what happens from there. So we'll keep these on there just so you can see what's happening. Let's go over to Square. We didn't go down to 65. We better go down to the 65 because I want to show you what's going to happen and not going to happen, what's likely to happen in my point of view, in my opinion, going into the FOMC. Okay, so we had our impulse move up here. We're consolidating right now, but going into the FOMC, I think it's very likely that this is going to reverse to get a higher low. Okay, and as this reverses, it's going to allow the market to move to the upside. So this is a nice move up here in VIX. Didn't affect the market very much, but clearly if the VIX starts to pull back I don't think it's going to make a lower low. I think it's going to make a higher low, maybe in time or in price. Time means we'll probably stay above the 13, just consolidate until FOMC, and then start to make our move. Or price might just bring us down to make a higher low, a little bit lower than that point. We seem to be wrapping around this 13, so I wouldn't be surprised if we made it down. Okay, but just important, we pull back or consolidate from here. I don't think we make it any higher until FOMC, and then start to rip from there. So let's check out Square, and we'll end the video. This is our sympathy play, not only on Bitcoin, but on the small caps, IWM. So these trend lines were more important back here. This was our wave 4 triangle from this entire move, wave 4, and then our wave 5. So what we're looking at now is a nice pullback, a retracement. And I think we might have our B finished already. There's a nice rip for A, B, and then we're looking for C. Somehow, I don't know if it's going to make that high, but if it equals, if we have A, let's pull up wave A, it's our initial move, measured, and then the bottom of B here, 100% move would be around this 102 area. So that's where I think that we would look for, and really it could be possibly a lot further than that, to be honest. I'm going to pull this out here. I'm going to clear this up. Let's get these, and let's look at this as a channel as well. You have this channel that we had a fake break back into, retesting right at the point of control. There's a huge volume node. This is going to play as a launch pad here. All right, last time when the market hit such a large point of control, we had, let me show you exactly what we had. This is the point of control. Market pulled back into the point of control and ripped. Will we do the same thing in Square? We're going to take our chances. I think it's a good probability that we have this nice move here. So I want to get this video out to you. So you may take this trade idea. We're already up 3%. This is just an initial move on Monday, and continuing on. If IWM is consolidating, I still think Square, once it gets some momentum, is going to just continue to move relentlessly. That's what it does. You see its moves are just straight up. So right now we have this wedge that we're forming. We're not breaking out of the wedge yet. That will be kind of our tell. And I drew these channels here for our really awkward inverse head and shoulders. We have our left shoulder, head, right shoulder, which made a little bit lower move here. And we're looking for this pivot and this wedge to confirm our breakout. All right, so I get my alert set, and we're looking for the move. We're not going to stay into this very long. I'm not interested. I'm interested in this being a hedge. So once we hit our targets on the main indices, we're not gonna hold on to Square for any reason. Hopefully I'll already have this large move going into Wednesday. A 3-day move should be pretty aggressive if we get the moves that we think we're going to get. It doesn't take much. You can have gap ups, all sorts of stuff happening. I know that was the earnings there, but anyway, that's what we have. We're going to end it here. Thanks for joining us at Options Tenor. We will do a larger degree time frame point of view and going into the weekend. So happy Friday and have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you tomorrow or Sunday.